My pleasure. Thank you.
I would love to know what drew you to this because it kind of feels similar-esque to another role you've done before, but a little bit different. What?
Yeah, I'm like the guy that gets killed and comes back as an AI. That's like I'm cornering the market. Yeah, I love sci-fi. I'm a fan of sci-fi. I watch a lot of sci-fi. I've now produced sci-fi. I've starred in sci-fi. I like to think that I've got a good kind of grasp on sci-fi in general. And then I liked the script. I spoke with April, and I liked her take on it, on the character. We were on the same page, tone, and just my first question was like, how robotic should this guy be? And she's like, not at all. I'm like, great, perfect. I don't want to play a robot. I want to play a person, and like it's just a guy who's in a really tough situation. But and then also the cast. I mean, getting to shoot opposite Sam Worthington and Jordana Brewster and Simu Liu was like, I mean, kind of a dream come true for me. I'm a big fan of all of theirs.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, what was it like working with them? Like, did you guys kind of form a bond or?
My first day was Sam's last day because we're kind of in two separate movies. So anything you see with me and Sam was my first day of filming and his last day of filming. So I got like, if you think about the movie, I got thrown, excuse me, right into the gauntlet on this movie in the freezing cold in a barn, head to head with Sam. And, for somebody who is the lead of the biggest movies in the world in cinematic history, could not have been cooler. Very down to earth. Just, we chatted about our families, the characters, the dialogue. We made a little bit of adjustments. He's just a very, very, very cool guy, and working with him was awesome. I got to have a little bit more time, obviously, with Jordana and with Simu. Simu, I'm a huge fan. I geeked out a little bit. We talked about, my first question was like, what's the bus scene? How did you shoot that bus scene in Shang-Chi? And like the answer did not disappoint. It was like 2 months on a soundstage with a hydraulic bus, and like it was just wicked. I was like, oh damn, that's like a dream scene. And then Jordana, I mean, I came up on the Fast and the Furious movies, so being opposite her and kind of talking to her about that world, and her having, she had finished Fast 10 and was just like talking about what the movie was like, and I was like, don't even think about giving me any spoilers. But it was awesome. It was everything I hoped it would be. They were, all three of them were just awesome people.
Awesome. Yeah, I was pretty like instantly hooked on this movie. I was like in it, and then like the longer it went on, I was like, oh my gosh, this is so good. Like twist I didn't see coming. Really, really
Oh,
enjoyed
good.
it. But I'd love to know what you think kind of sets it apart from other sci-fi films, because there's a lot of similar-esque stuff out there.
Yeah, I mean, look, when you have movies that have been done like Blade Runner and like Ex Machina, and if you're going to talk about AI and simulants and humanoids and anything like that, you're going to have crossover with those movies and other franchises. Terminator, I mean, less so in our movie, but still, it's just, if you do something really well, there's going to be things in it that are pulled into other movies. So I liked that about it. I was like, oh, okay, this has a little bit of a Blade Runner feel. This has a little bit of an Ex Machina feel. I thought was cool about our movie was there wasn't any heroes or villains. It was just kind of like these Sims are trying to live their own version of life, and I thought it was kind of interesting that the Sims at times felt more human than the humans. Like they wanted to be happy, and they wanted love, and they just wanted, I guess, the things that should feel like they're important in life. And the real people were just kind of, I don't know, they were just a little darker. And the sad truth is that's life. Like, things get sad and things get dark. But I don't know. I thought that I thought the script was interesting because it was polarizing, and not everybody's going to agree on the outcome of the movie. Not everyone's going to agree about the decisions made in the movie. And from day one, April and I didn't agree on whether we would use a simulant or not. I was like, I would probably, if I lost somebody I loved quickly, and didn't have a chance to say goodbye, and I had this version of them, I would probably do it, and I would probably regret it right away, and I wouldn't be able to pull the plug. I would be stuck in Jordana's character's world, and I totally sympathize with that. I thought that was really interesting.
Well, it's kind of sad though, because like she really can
Super
like cut it
sad.
off real quick. And like then
Yeah.
poor you, like, you know, obviously the simulant has these feelings. It's like, what am I supposed to do?
I know, it's funny. I found myself when I was reading it, I'm like sympathizing with these robots and with AI, and I'm like, this is bad for the world that we're kind of coming into. You know, I don't know. I think it's interesting, and I think I like that people don't. I like that it's subjective and people are not going to agree.
Yeah. So if you, this is kind of a weird question, but like if personally someone was like, oh, by the way, Robbie, like you're a simulant, like how would you react? Because that scene is
Oh
crazy.
man, it is. It's like, how do you tell somebody, or how do you find out that everything you know is a lie? And take robot out of the equation. Anything about it, like just if you found out that everything you knew was a lie, and all of the people you loved, they loved another version of you, like it's really sad. And I mean, I just think that it's something that people can imagine it happen. Like it's sci-fi, but it grabs onto emotions and just things that people have experienced, pieces of things that people have experienced, and the idea of loss. And I just, as an actor, I was like, great. So I'm not a robot. I'm just a guy who finds out that everything he knows is wrong and a lie, and he has to start from scratch. But like, how could you wrap your head around that? Everything you know, all your memories, they're fake. Like it's fucked.
Yeah, that's the perfect word for it. It really is. Like, what would you do? It's like insane. It's
Yeah.
awful. Well, you did a great job in that
Oh,
scene. I
thank
mean,
you.
the whole movie, but that scene in particular, I was like, man, that one.
Thank
And
you.
then I can't really spoil it, but in the end, I was like, oh no, I think I know what he's going to do. And then when you did it, I was like, that was like my exact response.
It was originally the way it was written. Can I say this without spoiling anything? How will this
Yeah,
interview air? I
if
don't.
if you say anything spoiler,
Okay.
I'll save it till after it comes out.
Okay. Originally, the scene was written where I walk over to the side of the pool and I like lean down and I pull her up, and then we're talking, and I drop her on, essentially on her chin on the edge of the
Oh,
pool. And I was like, this is really cool, but this is a way bigger stunt. And April was like, I want you to walk into the pool with your clothes on. And I was like, that's horrifying. I'm
uh-huh.
like, everyone's gonna know I'm about to do something. And she's like, I think we can do it. And I'm like, look, you're the one watching the dailies. If you think we've earned this, great. But I'm like, if it just makes me look like a crazy person, it's gonna be a bummer. And I did it for the first take, and she's looking at me in the pool, and I'm on the edge of the pool, and I'm just looking at her, and I'm like, you tell me. I'm not watching it. You're the audience. She's
Yeah.
like, it works. I'm like, okay,
No,
fine.
it did. It works. I mean, it's super creepy, but it
It's
works.
so creepy.
It's so
It's
creepy.
so unnerving to see someone walk into a pool fully clothed. You're like,
Yeah.
oh no, oh no.
That's like the exact response. Before we wrap, I've got to ask you, listen, I'm a huge fan of Upload. I
Thank
love
you.
that show. I love that series so much. So season 3 is officially coming. Is there
Season three. Season three's finished. I was
yeah.
supposed to go watch it in LA at Greg's house in like 3 weeks, and I'm in Vancouver for another project. So I'm gonna miss the little screening with the cast, which is such a bummer. But everything I've seen in ADR is really cool. The season's really funny and super weird and way out there. There's two of me, which was a trip to shoot. Like I'm shooting opposite somebody who just looks like me from behind, and then I'm shooting opposite nothing, and then I'm shooting opposite a green thing. Like it was crazy. I think it'll come out this fall, but I'm really excited for this season. I think it's really cool.
Awesome. I can't wait. That was another one. I was instantly hooked. I'm like, anything like with this idea, it freaks me out too, though. Because I'm
Oh,
like,
it's
what if
weird.
I'm like dead and uploaded into something and I have no idea? Like, it freaks you out a little bit.
Oh yeah, it's weird.
And then I can't
Greg's a
imagine.
genius.
Well, he's so smart. Yeah.
Oh my God. Every year he's got new things in the show. And like, it takes so long to shoot because it's normally like they write it and then we shoot it and then it comes out. And that whole process is about a year and 4 or 5 months. So in that year and 4 or 5 months, it's such a bummer because sometimes some of the stuff that's in the show first happens in real life. And we're like, fuck, Greg knew somehow. And he's unreal.
That's so crazy. I know. I can't imagine for you as an actor, like you're doing several things like this and that. Like I already freak out thinking I'm like not real. I can't imagine when you have to like get into that mindset.
I have a Tesla, and it took me a long time to use auto drive because I was like, my character died doing this. I
Yeah,
just
this
feel
is
like it's a
not good.
bad move.
Well, thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it.
Thanks. That's a nice talking with you.